What's going on, everyone? Homework assignment 15. Today's objective: I can multiply integers and simplify algebraic expressions. When we're multiplying integers, the product of two integers with different signs is negative, okay? So if we're multiplying two values with different signs, the value is going to be negative. The product is going to be negative. For example, negative 3 times a positive 12 is a negative 36. 4 times a negative 7 is a negative 28. When we multiply two integers with the same sign, the product of their signs is positive. For example, 4 times 6 is 24, and negative 4 times a negative 6 is still positive 24. All right, let's use it to evaluate some expressions. All right, so what happens when we have 3? Well, when we have 3, we're going to evaluate each separately. A negative 4 times a positive 12. Well, negative 4 times positive 12 is going to be a negative 48. And a negative 48 times a negative 5 is going to be a positive 240. So it's a negative times a positive, which is a negative, times another negative, which makes it positive. All right. Second one, we have 7 times 9. And I am using my calculator just to help with the calculation part of it. Negative 7 times 9 is a negative 63. Times a negative 6 is going to be a positive 378. All right, lastly, a negative 3 times a negative 4 is positive 12. Times a negative 5 is a negative 60. All right, what happens when we have algebraic expressions? When we have algebraic expressions, we can multiply the coefficients by each other, but we can't multiply a and b and make it some new letter. It's not going to be c or anything like that. It's just going to be called ab. For example, negative 7a times a 4b is a negative times a positive, so it is a negative 28, and we just say a b, negative 28 a b. A negative 9x times a negative 3y, well, I know my product is going to be positive then. So a negative 9 times a negative 3 is going to be a positive 27 times x times y, or 27xy. Last two, I know there's quite a few that we're looking at here, but let's evaluate the following expressions if x is 2 and y is 6. Well, if I have x is 2 and y is 6 for 3xy, then I know it's going to be 3 times x is 2 times y is 6, which is 3 times 2, which is 6, times 6 is 36. Okay, again, use a calculator to help you out with calculations. Lastly, evaluate 2rs if r is 5 and s is negative 2. So I'll rewrite it as 2 times r, which is 5, times s, which is a negative 10. Well, 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 times a negative 10 is a negative 100. All right, there it is. Study these. Know your rules. Positive times a positive is positive. Positive times a negative is negative. Negative times a negative is positive. It helps to memorize those. It helps to know those. Check out practice problems. I'll see you all tomorrow.